I asked a few people to help me make a video, and basically I'm going to just describe through a few more things for our service this coming Sunday, just to help for those of you who are visual. Hopefully this will help you to describe how we're going to have services on Sunday. The first thing is, whenever you arrive, we are going to have everyone enter into the back lobby doors that are facing Highway 6. And so whenever you arrive, if you're someone that needs help walking and you don't like walking far distances, then I would encourage you to park close to the parking spaces that are near Highway 6 in that front entrance. And if you have no problem walking at all, I'd encourage you to park far from there and leave those spaces for others. Whenever you arrive on Sunday and you enter through the doors by Highway 6, there's going to be a table sitting there with communion cups ready for you. And we just ask that when you get there, pick up enough communion cups for your family, and then go ahead and an usher will walk you into the auditorium. If you are planning on bringing your own communion, which we feel free to, we should have enough for you not to have to do that, but if you'd like to, feel free to bring your own communion and then go ahead and meet the usher who will walk you in. The disposable communion cups are a little tricky because there are basically two layers on it. There's this really thin plastic layer on top that you have to pull back in order to get the bread or cracker. And then after you've gotten that out, the whole top comes off for the cup. So please be sure to distinguish the two different layers of plastic. Otherwise, it might be a little tricky for you to get the bread out whenever you get here on Sunday. As I mentioned already, we're going to have ushers who are helping you find your seat on Sunday. This is primarily because we think it's going to really help you figure out where you can sit, and it's going to help us maintain our social distancing. And so when you walk in, after you grab your communion cup, there will be an usher there waiting who will walk you to a seat and will help you find a place to sit down. One thing that we really want to emphasize with our having an usher is the fact that you aren't going to be forced to sit somewhere that you don't want to sit. It's not like the usher's going to walk you in and say, well, you're the first one here, so you have to sit on the front row. And then the next person that walks in has to sit on the second row. That's not what we're planning on doing. Our plan is that the usher is going to meet you at the door and just ask, where would you like to sit in the auditorium? And then you can say, I like to sit towards the front on the left, or I like to sit towards the back on the right. And then the usher will walk you to that area and help you find a seat. And the usher will know what rows we're skipping, because as part of having social distancing, we're going to skip every other row. And that way the usher can kind of say, well, this seat's already kind of taken, so how about this row? But still kind of helping you sit in the general area that you really want to sit. If you decide you want to sit on a row that someone else is already sitting on, and let's say, like the example that you're seeing here, that you've got a bigger family like the Greeley family and a bigger family like the Williams family, and there's just not enough room for you both to sit on the same pew, then the usher was just going to kindly say, okay, let's not sit there. How about you come sit on this row over here? Another thing that we're going to ask you too is that you sit all the way on the edge of a pew for us to be able to make the most of the space that we have. So we don't want anyone sitting in the middle of an aisle in case that keeps someone from being able to sit on either side. One of the ways that we're going to kind of help the ushers and also help yourselves to kind of police making sure that we're maintaining our 6 feet of distance is we have placed painter's tape on the cushions of the seats. On every other row, the ones that we're sitting on, you'll see these strips of tape, and they're placed every 3 feet so that whenever you sit down, you can kind of have a mental idea of the fact that you're maintaining 6 feet of distance from the people next to you. Whenever church service ends, we're going to ask everyone to remain seated for a second, and then myself or one of the ushers will then begin ushering people by row out of the entrance, or out of the door that we came in, back out, so that we can have people walk out smoothly without having people passing in front of each other. And so that'll take just a little bit longer, but we ask that whenever we usher you out, you go ahead and make your way all the way to the back to your car into the parking lot. Instead of having our contribution right after the Lord's Supper when we traditionally have it, we are going to just have a basket in the foyer that says thank you for your contribution as a place for you to leave your contribution on your way out. We're going to make sure that as you enter and exit the building, there is plenty of hand sanitizer available. Once you get out into the parking lot, we know it's going to be basically impossible to keep everyone from wanting to talk to each other and interact. Our main request is that you wait to do that until you get out into the parking lot and not do that in the building as we usher you out. And once you get into the parking lot, please be mindful of other people and other people's comfort level with social distancing and things like that. And so just as you're in the parking lot, just maintain that distance from each other. If at any point in the service you need to use the restroom, the only restrooms that are going to be available are the 2 restrooms that are in the lobby. All right, so thank you for watching that video. One other small little detail I forgot to mention is after you finish your communion cup, you can just kind of set it on the ledge, the wooden ledge that's on the pew in front of you, and keep it there. And then after service, whenever we dismiss you, be sure to grab it, and then we'll have trash cans in the lobby. And after you can throw it away in the trash cans in the lobby. All right, now before we finish, I just want to kind of make some bigger comments that are less about how we're going to do church and more just some things that we want you to keep in mind. First, I want to ask you to be really conscientious of yourself and others during all of this. If you are someone that's in the at-risk category, please be really thinking about whether or not you should be attending church this Sunday or waiting until maybe a little bit longer. No one's going to stop you from coming to church. That's your decision. We just want to ask you to be conscientious. I'm sure you have loved ones here in Clifton at your church family. And also, you have loved ones, sons, daughters, grandkids, friends, family, who want you to be extra conscientious about this. So we'd ask, if you're, and this is especially true, if you're at all feeling sick, please stay at home. If you're at all feeling like you've maybe been somewhere and been exposed because you were traveling somewhere recently where there have been more cases, please stay at home. And so we just ask you to be conscientious of yourself and most importantly for loving each other well. And then another thing that I wanted to make sure I brought up is you are not obligated to wear a mask on Sunday. If you would like to wear a mask because it would make you feel more comfortable, then by all means do. But you're not going to be told you can't come in if you're not wearing a mask. Another thing, and that goes for gloves also. You don't have to wear them. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. Another thing that we really want to emphasize is please be checking your email, the Facebook page, our website where it says important information. I don't really foresee us having any big announcements between now and Sunday, but that's just going to be a good resource for you. Like, for example, we've been having our Facebook live stream at 10:30 the past few weeks to accommodate me. But now that we're doing this, we're switching back to our 10 a.m. start time. And so if you're sitting there on Sunday morning, you're like, wait a second, are we starting at 10 or 10:30? Go check your email, check Facebook, check the important information tab on the website. If anything comes up that you need to know about, we'll be sure and send out information so that everybody knows everything that they need to know before Sunday. And then that leads me to the last thing, which is this Sunday is truly going to be a soft open. This is going to be something unlike anything any of us have ever experienced before. And so we'd ask that you continue to be patient and flexible with us as we figure out things. We've tried to think through every single thing, and I believe we have. But who knows? There might be some little hiccup where it's raining outside, and so we have the ushers with umbrellas. Or who knows? We might have some little thing that we've got to figure out, and we just ask that you would be mindful of that and patient with us as we navigate through this unique time. But overall, I'm really thrilled about getting to be with you again in a more personal way, and being able to see more of you every week is going to be a real treat for me, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out.